Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Cookies or bars?
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Cookies or bars? Cookies or bars? Cookies or bars?
Why do you laugh? Why do you laugh when when I record our topic?
What the listeners don't hear, they just hear it with the music, and they only hear it once. What they don't hear is just continued you going, okay, we're going to start in a second, but first let me do this part. Cookies or bars? Cookies or bars? Cookies or bars? Cookies or bars?
I could never, in the early days, Ken would always give me a note. He would say, like, you have this much time. Mm-hmm. And I think he would normally tell me that it needed to be faster. So
sure. Wait, you be long-winded? That can't be right.
As weird as it seems.
Yeah.
That did happen once or twice.
Sure.
So I'm always trying to get the speed right.
Well, I think it's wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
So by the way, I don't understand this question. Who sent this?
This is from Haley Thompson.
Hi, Haley. Question for you, Haley. Do you mean cookie bars? Because if the question is cookies or bars, it's kind of comparing apples and oranges. Because I will say I can't get a good old fashioned from a cookie. I can get a good old fashioned cookie.
Yeah.
But I can't get a bourbon drink.
And there are no good jokes that start with a priest and a rabbi walking into a cookie. They just don't exist.
Exactly. So it's bars, asked and answered.
Wait, I can't get my pie there.
Wait, no. Oh, Hal, you're doing it again. You're doing that thing that you do after shows that I've talked about this on the show, I'm certain.
Yeah, you have, of course.
Yeah.
It's well established that you drink and I'm a teetotaler who just wants a dessert.
Yes. But I think it's also, I'm just wondering if it is well established that you frequently dupe me after shows. That's what I want to be established, is the whole duping part of it.
I will admit, I'll cop to that, sure. I don't feel like I'm duping. I think most people do this, is you assume people generally share. Like, if there's a thing you like or want to do, you will assume in your mind it's something other people will probably enjoy too.
And I do enjoy getting pie after a show. But you lead me to believe that we're going to a bar. Somehow you will always find a bakery that sounds like a bar.
We're going to go to McGillicuddy's.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to O'Hanrahan's Sports House. And I walk in, I'm like, how is this a bakery?
It's
called O'Hanrahan's Sports House. Oh my God. No, I do gotta hand it to him. They have 11 TVs.
And they're all showing the same game.
Yeah. And that game, Cupcake Wars.
We asked people to make a Grover out of cupcakes. Let's see.
I am so very delicious. But we're not talking about
near and far.
That whole near far bit.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that was from? What made that popular?
Oh, was it their version of Upstairs Downstairs for Monster Piece Theater?
For me, I don't know if this was for everybody, but it was for me. Somebody did an impression of that bit on the show America's Funniest People.
Oh, I don't remember
that was what, like, that whole near, far, that whole thing came about, at least into my consciousness, through America's Funniest People. Not America's Funniest Home Videos back in the day, but America's Funniest People, the spin-off show, where it was just, hey, do you have a bit that you do at dinner? Videotape yourself doing that bit. It was ahead of its time.
Oh, because it was like the YouTube of its day, where everybody who thinks they're hilarious just makes a video and puts it out there. Unlike two guys making a podcast.
That's right.
Really, leave it to us.
Yeah, we're professionals.
Yeah.
That's not what I was saying, Hal.
No, I was saying it.
Yeah, that's fair. I knew a kid growing up that he won 10 grand because he did a really good Woody Woodpecker impression.
And that kid was Eric Bauza, who is now the voice of Woody Woodpecker. It all
Shout out to Eric
full
Bauza.
circle. That's right. The multi-talented.
Very, very talented guy. Once the day that we were working on a Thrilling Adventure Hour thing, and I found out that he does every Looney Tune.
Yeah.
I think I played with him like he was a Christmas toy.
Oh yeah. And he'll do all of them.
Oh yeah. It's the best. That was great. Now do Bugs. Yeah.
Do Bugs and Daffy Duck fighting over to the check at a restaurant, but they both want to pay.
That's off-brand, Hal. That's off-brand.
Yeah, but we're not here to talk about the Looney Tunes. We're here to talk
about bars.
Yeah,
specifically O'Hanrahan's Sports House.
The best pancakes you'll ever have. It's a short stack, and you think that's not enough because you're hungry after a show, but it's enough. Surprisingly. No, I want to talk about, we talk about cookies and bars. Mm-hmm. What I really want to talk about is you flew back to Los Angeles today.
Oh, yes.
And you were texting me.
Oh, man.
Here's the thing that people might not know. When you're on a television show and you're traveling for the television show because you're a part of a union,
mm-hmm.
they fly you first class everywhere. That is not like that is part of being in the union.
Yeah. It's one of the perks of SAG, but it's that they just buy business class tickets because they can change them constantly. A lot of things that I thought were like, ooh, movie star perks are really just about them getting a bunch of actors herded to where they need to be.
Sure.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, when you fly yourself, you get into those crates from the Great Muppet Caper and have them drop you into the Thames.
I fly basic economy as often as I can because I have a good backpack that's good for it's small enough to fit under the seat and I can stuff a bunch of stuff into it. Right. So long story short, I wound up with a middle seat today.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did I wind up with a middle seat, I wound up in the middle seat. This drives me crazy. Has this happened to you, Hal? Where you wind up in the middle seat, but the two people on either side of you know each other. They were both just like, I don't want the middle seat. Let some other schmo get the middle seat. We'll just talk over him. So I got that version. And I should have known that because these people, you know what? The daughter was perfectly lovely. It was a mother-daughter combo.
Uh-huh.
Because she was asleep the whole time.
Right.
The mother, who was sitting on the aisle, I don't think she knows any of the rules of flying. She definitely does not know the middle seat gets the armrests rule.
Yeah. Basic rule.
And so we did a whole flight's worth of that, sort of elbow nudge. She would lift her hand up to grab something out of her bag and I would immediately slide my arm in there. And then I would do the same and she'd slide her arm in there. But most of the time I was able to get that armrest because middle seat, I got to get my armrest. So here I am fighting with this large elderly woman on an airplane. And at one point she just decides, you know what? Fine. Then your arm is my armrest. And she just plops her arm down on top of mine. So there I am just pinned. She was just I don't like to, I don't like to. What was she
doing while she had her arm on your arm?
Remind me.
Was she playing solitaire?
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I forgot about this part. She was playing solitaire without earbuds and the volume up.
On an iPad?
No, on an iPhone.
Okay.
But one of those large iPhones that's the size of an iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when the cart came by, she wanted a coffee. So she got a coffee and then sent it back. Something was wrong with the coffee. I don't know. She was a generally unpleasant woman. I hate to say that. I feel really bad talking about a person like that. But then later, after we were all getting off the plane and I was like, oh, I'm just glad to be done sitting next to this lady. I see her as I think I made a pit stop at the bathroom before going down to the baggage claim. And then I see her coming around in one of those, jet bridge wheelchairs.
Right. So they were pushing her.
They're pushing her through the airport and she was just giving an earful to this poor employee of the airport. It was like sitting next to Leona Helmsley. I realize it's a really, really old reference.
You know, I feel like it's right up the alley of some of the people who listen to this podcast.
That's true. That's true. What's up, people of the world?
Yeah.
So thank you for letting me just vent that. Oh my God. It was so frustrating, dude.
I'm sorry. I knew it was going to be hilarious when you told me.
Yeah.
And I thought you were at the beginning of your flight, but I guess it had just ended and you were.
I was just off the plane because there was, because the Wi-Fi wasn't working on the plane. So, but, here's another weird little moment in the thing. You saw the movie Booksmart?
Yes.
I saw I hadn't seen the movie Booksmart. Hilarious movie.
Yes.
There's a scene in that movie. There's a sort of acid trip kind of scene where basically it's, 2 Barbie dolls getting naked and doing hilarious but horrific things with their naked Barbie doll bodies.
Yes.
Horrific, hilarious if I weren't sitting between a mother and daughter on an airplane. Right as that scene comes on my screen, I'm like, oh, they do not edit these movies on American Airlines.
No.
And this was also right when the cart came up. So I'm like, well, do I hit pause? Cause then it looks like I'm watching a porno or something.
Yeah.
Or and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let it ride. They did this to themselves by sitting on either side of a middle seat person.
Yeah,
you know what? You have to watch the weird, Barbie doll sex scene from Booksmart.
Yeah, they actually add in the sex scenes from Caligula to every movie that you watch on American. So don't put like some Pixar movie on for your kids because they're gonna see some things that no child should see at that age.
Holy moly! So that was my flight today.
Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but now we can talk about delicious things like cookies and bars.
Cookie bars we're talking about.
Cookie bar, yeah. There's like your maple bar. I would consider Lemon Square to be a bar just because of the general shape and how you would handle it.
Okay. Because this was my question is, are we talking bars in general or are we talking like a specific cookie in cookie form or bar form?
I think we're talking about cookie form or bar form. And before we dismiss it outright, because I think the answer we would both come up with immediately is, well, cookies, because you can think of 900 different
Not
cookies.
Not necessarily.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're open to
it. Because here's where my thinking has been today, in looking at some stuff about this and trying to figure this out. Having just, made cookies, in massive bulk, for the crew at Blood and Treasure.
Okay.
And scooping out, by the dozens and dozens with the little scooper thing. By the way, get a $5 little cookie scooper. It makes things infinitely easier and they're all uniform in size. We can talk about that in a minute. But I did not think to just make bars. It is you take all that cookie dough, you spread it out in a pan, and then you just slice them up. You save so much time. And that to me is the big factor here that we're talking about.
Right.
Is the massive amount of time cut off by making the bars. And in my mind, a big question of this is the time saved worth the different product?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, is a cookie bar as delicious as a cookie for the fact that it took half the time to make it?
Well, here's the other question. I think this is the other thing about bars.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I think it is an easier thing to make because you're just cutting it up at the end and scoop and just lifting it out of the dish and serving it to people.
Mm-hmm.
Way easier. But also because of the thickness of a bar, you can put more stuff in it. And it can maintain the same.
You're making like a sweet lasagna.
Yeah. Give me like any basic, it's not even a cube. It's more like a rectangle, like a shoebox size bar.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be anything. And they would all be the same size. If you make a cherry chocolate chunk cookie, it's going to have to be thicker and like by necessity because of the amount of things in it. It's going to have a different shape to it.
Do you like a thin and crispy cookie or a thick, heavier cookie?
I don't like a super crispy. I like chewiness to my cookie.
Yeah.
I do like chewiness. I don't mind it having a little thickness to it. I don't like it to be super thin.
Oh, see, I like a cookie that is practically a muffin top. Big, thick, and cakey. Yeah,
those are great.
Yeah. That's how I like my cookies.
That's a great way to take them. You've done the thing. I know we've talked about this before where you take the cookie dough and put it in a muffin tin so it doesn't fully rise. And then you have like almost a peanut butter cup, oversized peanut butter cup size cookie.
Though I don't, if I'm going to eat raw cookie dough, Because it is going to be a little raw in the middle. If I'm going to eat raw cookie dough, I want it to be cold raw cookie dough, so I know that I'm having raw cookie dough on purpose.
Right.
As opposed to this feels underdone.
See, to me, it comes off almost as melty, so I'm okay with it.
Okay. I can see that.
That said, I have never made bars in my life. And I've never sat down and gone, you know what I'm going to do with these cookies? I'm going to take this dough and I'm going to make a bar out of it. I like making individual cookies, especially if I'm doing it from scratch, because I like the challenge of getting the shape different and how they rise and fall. I think when you throw stuff into a baking pan, generally you know what you're going to get unless you have horribly misread the instructions.
Yeah, if you put something in a 9x13 rectangular pan and it comes out of the oven round, something is very, very wrong. No, it's going to be pan shaped.
Yeah, it's going to be perfectly pan shaped.
Yeah.
You'll be able to cut it real easy. If you've pre-greased the pan properly, you're able to scoop it out super easy. It's great. It tastes good. It's fine. I just, what is a situation outside of when you're making a ton of cookies? In the cookie scoop, I have one of the scoops you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mine is plastic with a rubber bottom, so you can push through with your thumb to pop it out. So you don't have to like smack it against anything, or you don't need to.
I don't have smack it against anything.
Well, you mean like against your hand or something just to loosen it? I'm not.
I don't have mine's not like a mold. Mine's like it looks like an ice cream scoop.
So does mine.
Okay.
It's a rounded scoop, but the bottom is like a silicone.
Gotcha.
Where you just push.
Mine has the little button where it like does the little like finger swipe through the inside of it.
Sure. But either way, it's good. But
yeah, either way, it's uniformity.
Even
which I like.
Doesn't take the fun out of it. Don't you like to hand roll them a little bit?
Yeah, that is what it came down to. My question was
right
in that if it's about homemade cookies,
yeah,
the joy of creating something. And like you said, having it be a little different every time, experimenting with a few different things. I know I've told you my chocolate chip cookie recipe, the Nestle Toll House recipe plus a cup of Bisquick.
Yeah.
And like I'll tweak around with little things and play with this and that and try and, get them to react in different ways and, come out differently. So that's the fun experiment of it. And also like the love involved in making a pan of cookies for somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But does it lose some of that if you decide that you're going to make bars? Because what that does is just cuts time. So you can either make way more of them or make the ones you were going to make faster.
Exactly. That is the exact, I'm sitting here looking, I was doing research to see what is the debate here?
Mm-hmm.
There really doesn't seem to be one. It's just what I can find is don't have time to make cookies, just make bars.
Yeah, I feel like that's, so the question then, does the question become quantity or quality?
But are you really sacrificing that much?
That's
really
the question.
It all tastes the
No,
same.
it's not really just the shape. Cause think about this. It's going to rise differently. It's going to be more uniform. You're not going to get the grade from edge to middle, that like dome top.
Okay.
You're not going to get the crispy edges on the outside. There's not going to be as much edge to a bar. Yeah. If the cookie is the Green Day album American Idiot, then the bar is the original Broadway soundtrack to American Idiot. Just less edgy.
Boy,
that was a long way to get.
I was going to say, boy, I had to sit in the middle seat on that trip.
Shut up, Hal. I'm very tired. What do you want
I understand.
from me? I'm still on East Coast time. I was at a wedding with swords. Shout out to AJ and Sabrina.
Yeah, your cousin AJ and his betrothed, now his wife Sabrina. Who I've met several times at Dragon Con.
Lovely, lovely people.
Lovely people.
And a hell of a pair of stunt performers.
Yeah, they're stunt performers. I see your cousin who looks exactly like his dad, who we hung out with in Philly.
Yeah.
Like amazingly, I look like my dad, but he really looks like his dad.
Yeah. My Uncle Jim, who has a sports radio Philly accent.
Yes, he does. Your AJ looks like his dad, your Uncle Jimmy. Is that
Uncle
right?
Jim, yeah.
Uncle Jim. Your Uncle Jim looks like
Please
AJ.
Don't get so familiar.
It looks like AJ in disguise as an old man. That's how much they look like each other. But the stuff that he can do as a stunt performer is breathtaking, like flips and fight choreography. Like he's really dedicated to the craft. But at the wedding, they had they really worked. That is their life. They live that stunt life, and all their friends are in stunt. They're in Atlanta, which is where a ton of stuff films. It's a good place to be. And they're doing, they have a sword fight. Is that right? Cause I saw on Facebook.
Yeah, so they had
for our wedding swords.
So their first dance was a sword fight. That was
their music.
It was all instrumental.
Okay.
By the way, they walked down the aisle to a song from Dear Evan Hansen. Like, I love my family.
Wow.
Yeah, right. The music beforehand was a string quartet. It was a recording of a string quartet playing assorted themes, Star Wars, Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite popular, I assume, because I've heard that kind of music, at weddings before. Dinerstein did that. You remember this? That their recessional at, Dinerstein and Becky's wedding was the Imperial March.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. It was awesome.
You went out of town too. Now we're just catching up.
I was out of town, not this weekend, but the prior weekend I was out of town. That is true.
This was in Philly.
I went to Philly for the Philadelphia 76ers Los Angeles Lakers game, which the Sixers won.
Right.
It is.
I saw you on television.
Yes. I was on television. I'm super, when I go to a basketball, I'm very invested in the Sixers, which right now is bad for my health because they're playing some of the worst basketball I've ever seen.
And you have, for the Sixers, you have Nicholson seats.
My dad, his season tickets are 2 rows behind the visitors bench.
Amazing.
And so it's an amazing way to watch a game. It's very cool to be that close. It was the night that LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant, who passed away the very next day for number 3 all-time.
Oh, I didn't realize that this was the game where the tweets happened back and forth between the two of them.
Yes, that's right. I was at that game.
Wow.
And it was incredible. It was nice to be home too. And I ate a ton so I landed. My father picks me up at the airport. We go to the same place that you and I went. We went to Jim's on South Street to get cheesesteaks.
It's very good. The one with the neon sign upstairs.
That's right. Then we went to Franklin Fountain and got ice cream.
Uh-huh. Well, you bought the Time Life recording of greatest hits.
Yes. That's right. All the greatest hits of Philly.
It scrolls through all of the great restaurants of Philly, but the ones that are in yellow are the ones that you actually went to.
That's right. The 2 yellow ones are the ones.
Yeah. You remember those commercials? It was always the yellow one was the song that was playing in the commercial.
Yeah, exactly. But my flight was way better because I got upgraded to first class.
Oh, shut up, you butthead.
And I sat in front of actress, entrepreneur, and Real Housewife Lisa Rinna.
Hey, all right, Lisa Rinna. We did have one celebrity on my flight today.
Who?
I'm very excited. Kelsey Grammer.
What?
Yeah, that was cool.
Was he seated the next row over in between 2 people?
Yes.
I don't know what to do.
No, he was directly in front of me and he leaned his seat back and I was like, Kelsey, do you not listen to We Got This? We determined that leaning your seat back is a jerk move. And he was like, oh, terribly sorry. I shall put this up forthwith.
You should have brought your seat defender with you.
Oh man, if Kelsey Grammer and I got in a fight over a pair of seat defenders.
2 television stars rocked a flight from Atlanta to Los Angeles.
No, it would be television star and angry bystander.
Kelsey
Bysitter, I guess.
A bystander. Bysitter.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him? You're like, hey, I'm also on television. What's going on? We're the same. And I've also,
hi, Kelsey. We're the same. No, I did want to walk by him and go, hey, I did an impression of you for an SNL audition, but it was not terribly flattering. So
can you describe the pain when you fell off that stage at Disney Concert Hall?
Oh, it wasn't Disney Concert Hall. You know where that was?
Where?
That was at the Hyperion.
Oh, that was your stage.
That was the theater where Aladdin happened. And you know what?
What?
I can see why it happened. The whole front of it was not a clumsy move. The whole front of that stage was a jagged mess by design. Like it's a jagged mess of stars and shapes. It's not a straight line across. In fact, we had, for the show, we had a glowing red line that you could only see from on stage. You couldn't see it from the audience, but there was a glowing red line across the lip of the stage, which if they had that glowing red line on, come on, Kelsey. Didn't you see the laser boundary on the ground?
I remember as a child going to. Oh, I've hurt myself.
Don't we all have laser boundaries on our grounds? Ridiculous. Let's get back to cookies and bars.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back.
Can you tell that we thought this was going to be a short topic? So we were like, oh, good. An episode where we can just chat.
Oh my God. We both had the longest day ever, but we haven't talked in so long.
I know.
This is what happens.
All right.
All right. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Aneke.
And I'm James. And together, we are the self-proclaimed Wonder Twins of podcasting and host Minority Corner.
We tackle subjects like LGBTQ topics, pop culture,
and untold histories of American POCs, like the true story of escaped slave turned pirate turned Navy man in the Civil War turned Congressman Robert Smalls.
plus current events from our perspective.
Deep dive movie and TV reviews. You'll also get
Awesome book recommendations from their neighborhood-friendly librarian.
Don't forget my award-winning Jennifer Hudson impressions. And I'm telling you.
While never taking ourselves too seriously.
Minority Corner, because together,
We're the majority.
every Friday here on
Maximum Fun.
This is NASA. I see a flat Earth, but we should lie to everybody about it and say it's round. 10-4.
Maximum Fun brings you the latest podcast, an expose on the flat Earth.
I want to take advantage of humankind and make them believe a lie so that they will trust us with the government.
It's all an elaborate lie, and when you get on a plane, they purposefully fly you farther than you need to go.
It's disgusting. It needs to be stopped. And if you listen to Ono, Ross, and Carrie, we will tell you the truth behind the lies.
Just kidding.
No, we
No.
won't do that. We will just tell you the truth behind the truth, because what we do is we look at extraordinary claims.
That's right. We've gone undercover with alternative medical treatments, fringe religious groups, fringe science claims, the spiritual, paranormal. We're there to check it out and let you know what happens.
Is the Queen Mary haunted? I don't know. Find out.
We show up, we make friends, we learn what happens when you ask questions, and we tell you all about it.
And we get all that funky stuff done to us.
It's Ono, Ross, and Carrie.
At MaximumFun.org.
All right. We're back.
You didn't even take a breath
I
that
did.
time.
In fact, I'm holding my breath.
Why are you holding your breath? To find
I
out
don't
if
know.
it's cookies or bars?
Yeah. Cookies or bars?
All right.
Or
Let's
cookies or bars? No, Hamilton. Would you want to be secretary of cookies or bars?
cookies. Let's
do
go.
it.
Did you hear the news today?
I did hear the news.
Oh, it's very exciting. October 2021, Hamilton is coming to movie theaters.
I'm excited to.
Is it a
finally
Fathom
get to
event?
see it.
Or is
I
it
think
going
they're
to, are they doing like a theatrical release?
I don't think Disney does Fathom events unless they're like showing the ice capades.
No, they did, wait, it's Disney?
Yeah.
Cause Disney did Newsies and that was a Fathom event.
But of the Broadway, I mean, they are
The
doing
Broadway
a Fathom
show, yeah.
Well, I'll be there. I don't care how they're doing it. I'm finally going to see this show.
Are you a fan of those? The Fathom events?
I've never been to one in my life. But
They're
if I
so
were to
much
go,
fun.
I would go to Riff Tracks to see
Yeah.
Bill and Kevin.
They're great. It's like going to the movies, but there's a curtain time. So it just is a little more special.
I like it.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. But again, we're digressing, Hal. We're talking cookies or bars.
All right.
Okay. Let's make our list of pros and cons.
Okay.
Pros. Let's start with bar because
All right.
the pros for a bar are speed at this point.
Speed.
Right.
Consistent. I don't, it's consistent. the word?
Uniformity.
Yes. Uniformity.
Yeah.
It's dependable. It's consistent. It will be the same every time you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming you follow the directions.
Right. You also mentioned that you can stuff them in your crazy awesome bar lasagna. Are you thinking of things like lemon squares where you could put assorted things in it and
No, I'm saying like a chocolate cherry chunk cookie.
Okay.
It's going to be shaped a lot different than a chocolate chip cookie. A chocolate chip cookie bar and a chocolate cherry chunk bar will be the same shape. They'll be the same thickness, or they will at least they'll have the same uniform look, but they can have different fillings. The fillings won't necessarily change the volume.
Is it because of the more even distribution if it's one big sheet of a thing?
Yeah, I think they're thicker. And some of them are, I know not every bar is the same size, but I'm looking at a picture of 4 bars on top of one another, all completely different. And they are the exact same thickness.
Is this the picture that you have taped to your ceiling above your bunk beds?
Yeah. And I kiss it every night before I go to sleep. Look at that picture. Those are 4 very different bars.
That dinging, by the way, don't yell at me for that dinging. You're the one that made it happen.
It's a business write-off. Don't worry about it.
Oh, those do look good.
But they're all the same size.
They are all the same size.
And they're completely different.
They're all different things. Yeah. I mean, because you can cut them. They're not little individual things that are at the mercy of the oven.
The third one looks like vomit. It looks like a bird. It looks like they took what a bird can't digest and made a bar out of it.
Nobody else can see this picture but me.
I swear there's corn in it. Look at the top. You can see it.
You know what it's dawning on me, Hal?
What's that?
What this episode is? Because the cookie bar makes me think of the Pizookie. You know the Pizookie?
I do know the Pizookie from BJ's Pizzeria.
Yeah, it's basically, or Shakey's has it too.
Okay.
It's like it's a pizza pan, but they cook a big cookie in it.
Yeah, you basically make a cookie in a skillet. You can get it at Trader Joe's too. Same thing. Then you put ice cream on it.
Mm-hmm.
You heat it up. You put ice cream on it. You eat it and you're happy.
Yeah. That's the instructions on the back.
That's exactly it. It's very easy.
And it dawned on me in thinking about the Pizookie.
Yeah.
Really what we're deciding here is not cookies or bars. It's small cookie or uniformly cut piece of larger cookie.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean?
You know, I was looking at these.
It's because the thing is a whole. A cookie is a whole. The benefit of the pro, I don't even know if we need to do pros and cons. The pros of the bar is that it is faster and it's uniform. The pros of the cookie is its own thing. There's a magic to that.
I agree. And I'll go a step further. I think if you have a crispy bar, uniformly crispy bar, something's gone wrong. It's either dried out or it's been overcooked. Generally, you're going to have a crust on the bottom. That'll give you some crisp, maybe a little on the top, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it a bar should be chewy.
Yeah.
It should be chewy. A cookie can be chewy and it's a great cookie, or it can be very crispy and it's a great cookie.
Yep.
You have different choices for how you cook it. If you use too much or not enough baking powder, you're going to get the really flat, wide, like you can engineer the cookie any way you want it. When you make the bar, you're constrained by the pan.
Mm-hmm.
And the expectation is that a well-made bar is going to be chewy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a drawback? Because you're taking away choice?
Well, look.
In a way?
I don't think, I don't think so, because there's so many other factors. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you said, there's a massive variety that you can make of these bars. Personally, I like it chewy. I don't want something that's too crunchy.
Right.
For me, in fact, can I shift gears a little bit here?
Yeah.
Let's talk about, because for me, I know this sounds odd, but homemade, the winner is, in my opinion, as I am formulating this, is the proper cookie all day.
I agree.
That said, when I'm out and about and am in a snack mood, store-bought wise, I'm always a bar guy.
Really?
Yeah. I'm rarely a cookie guy.
So if you could get a smaller bar or gigantic cookie, same price, same flavor, you're going to go with the bar.
Yeah, I'll usually go with the bar. Like, really? I've got my go-to at 7-Eleven. I got my Fig Newtons. Those are bars. If you get the long ones. I've got those. Have you had a Rice Krispie treats? That's a bar. Also homemade.
Oh.
A Rice Krispie treat is it's a bar. A brownie is a bar. That's the thing. Like, there is a variety in them.
Do you think, you could?
No, I don't know if I would count a brownie, because you don't use dough, you use batter.
Yeah, that's
more like a halfway point with a cake.
It's a snack in the form of a bar. And it's like I would almost call it more of a square, which a lemon square is too, because you cool it, you don't bake it.
Well, hang on a second. What's the difference between a square and a bar at this point?
About 40 cents.
This is really fun having a podcast with you for these last few years.
I'm sorry I retire. I'm very sorry. I want to apologize to everybody for that. And in my mind, even as I was saying it, I didn't think it was going to be good, but I thought I should really go with it. And that was a mistake.
That's okay.
And I'm on the making amends step. So
you know what?
Apologize.
Hal?
Yeah.
I'll accept your apology if you'll accept my apology for my overlong analogy using Green Day's American Idiot.
I accept your apology.
Thanks, buddy.
We did it.
We did it.
The reunion podcast is on. Yeah, these look really good. See, I want like a giant, if I saw a giant cookie, I wouldn't want the bar. I'd want the giant cookie. I want the most of it.
I mean, how much are we talking about?
This
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm just now realizing what you did when I was like, if I go to a convenience store, I'm going to choose a bar over a cookie. And your reaction was, wait, you would rather have a little bar than a giant cookie? You added this size comparison into the mix.
Aren't you more likely to get a giant cookie than you are to get a gigantic bar?
But hold on. But you're adding size as an element that is not one of our variables.
I'm asking if it should be a variable.
Size? You can make a giant bar. A bar is, I mean, a 9x13 pan is essentially just one big cookie bar.
Right, but you're talking about when you're out and about and buying things.
That's true.
So
I never buy the like 1 foot by 2 foot novelty Rice Krispie treat.
Oh, those were supposed to be a novelty? I just eat them.
I just thought it was movie theater size.
Yeah.
There were, I once got on the subway in New York and, it was late at night and it was just me and 3 very loud and rowdy drag queens.
Yes.
Who had just bought one of those giant 1 foot by 2 foot Rice Krispie squares.
I love this.
And they kept offering it to me. And I said no because you're not supposed to take food from strangers on the subway. But I really wanted some of that giant drag queen Rice Krispie treat.
I know. I bet you did.
And they were very nice. And I'm sure it would have been fine and delicious. They were all eating it. Now I'm second guessing it. I should have had some.
You probably should have had some.
Oh, man.
You may never have that opportunity again.
I know. When's the next time 3 drag queens are going to offer me a Rice Krispie treat on the subway at 3 a.m?
Exactly. Who knows?
You know what? I just got to go to New York and ride around the subway all night, just waiting.
You probably won't have to wait that long. It's New York.
Somebody hops in. I'm like, oh, no, it's just a shiny blue laptop bag.
It's just a guy who's going to start a speech as soon as everybody quiets down on the train.
Is this 3 drag queens? No, it's just 3 regular ladies. Where's the fun in that?
They don't even they have a regular size Rice Krispie, the treat they're sharing.
Yeah.
The reason why I bring it up is we're taking home cooking out of the equation. So you're going to take what they're giving.
But that's fair. Just for this example. This is why it feels like a bit of a divergence.
Some places will sell a larger bar, but if they sell a large bar, they probably sell a larger cookie.
Well,
it's just something to consider. I have no problem. I just have never been in a situation, like if I'm going to get a cookie, or something made of the same dough, basically, I want the most of it possible. I'm not trying to quote unquote be good.
That's fair. I guess I err on the side of like, well, I'll just have one little cookie. But then you know me, I'll make a milkshake out of a whole sleeve of Thin Mints.
Of course you will.
Yeah.
You're an American.
I'll tell you some of my favorite way to have a cookie.
Yeah.
Is, at Schmackery's in New York.
Great place.
Just in the theater district. In May, during Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, during that campaign, they always get Broadway stars to go run Schmackery's.
So you have like Audra McDonald selling.
Exactly.
cookies.
So my best version of getting a cookie is piping hot with a cup of coffee handed to me by Sutton Foster. Or Rob McClure. He was there one time when I went. I was very excited because I saw him in Chaplin. Thought he was great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But that said, let's get away from the store bought and go back to well, you know what? I'm glad that Schmackery's came up because what if you are in that halfway point between a 7-Eleven and a home oven, the artisanal family bakery?
I want your cookie. I want the cookies.
Yeah, I think.
Give me that cookie.
There's something that like.
Especially Schmackery's. Give me that giant sugar cookie with the rainbow sprinkles in it.
Give me that maple one. Oh, that maple one.
Give me the maple one.
Yeah.
There's something, here's the other thing, and I'm surprised that this isn't something that's occurred to you, but I think when I say it, it's going to seal the deal and get us out of here in a reasonable
hold on, let me
time.
guess what it is. Is it, you don't leave bars for Santa?
No, it's not. It's, the bar is, for all intents and purposes, not only speed, but perfection and uniformity.
Mm-hmm.
Everything the same. You know what you're getting every single time. Cookies are messy.
Mm-hmm.
They're oddly shapen. And every once in a while you get a dud, but more often than not, you get more good than bad. And isn't that more what life is? That sort of imperfection. And it's never going to turn out exactly the way you think it will, but you may love it anyway. And you may find something that's even more beautiful about it at its very best.
Hal?
Yes.
You know you can always hook me with a poetic argument like that.
I know I can. But I think that's it. Isn't that it?
Yeah.
People of the world, and
it's
especially Haley,
it's the connotation.
I gotta be honest. This is what I think you resisted for a while. And even when I came up with it, I was like, well, this will be quick. But I think there was more to discuss than either of us thought.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. Haley, thank you for this.
Thank you, Haley.
And everybody, however you eat your cookie dough, it's great. It's great to have cookie dough cooked or raw.
If it doesn't have
really
eggs in
cooked.
it. Don't
If it
have the
doesn't have
raw
eggs.
stuff if it has raw eggs in it.
Be careful. But really, make a cookie with it.
Yeah.
Don't make a bar. Take the time. Experiment. Get to know what your cookie is. You're going to fail? Yes. It's going to taste great. You're going to
Everybody
succeed?
needs to have a
Yes.
cookie.
Yeah. You got to have a cookie.
Yeah.
It's all about the cookie. The cookie. So come and get a cookie. There's no bar in that song. And I know those aren't the lyrics. Don't correct me, internet. Just let this one be family friendly. After those F words escaped in the last one.
Wait, what?
Ken had to re-upload, I think, the episode twice.
Oh no, did Acker let a couple of F words fly?
Gee, did he?
Sorry, listeners.
I think they like looking for it.
Yeah. That's
in fact, there's a backwards one somewhere in this episode.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. Hal is dead. Yes.
No.
Yep. But
in the battle of cookies versus bars, the winner is clear. It's the cookie. Get you some cookies. The bar is the tool of the rushed. Don't rush. Anything you're going to make into a bar, you can make into a cookie and enjoy it perfectly fine and live a happy, contented life. And that's what we want you to do. Be happy and contented. Find those moments of joy and find them using a cookie asked and answered.
Well, there you have it. This topic is closed, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets. Check out the Maximum Fun subreddit or
email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or you can visit our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/We Got This Podcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, our listeners, the people of the world, for giving us an opportunity to sit here and talk about cookies with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.